This week on the Big Story, nearly 4 million kids in Britain live in poverty, and with government cuts, things are bound to get worse.
But you can see that we all live, or most of us live in poverty, even though we are in the middle of Battersea, the middle of London,
which is
supposed to be a very rich area.
Yeah.
If we're not careful, we're going to have a missing generation where our kids are killing each other for no apparent reason at all.
They say poverty must exist in every society, but does it really have to?
Always, and there will always be people who are at the very bottom of society. However, the challenge is to keep that pool of people as small as possible, and to give those people who have the potential to get out of that pool the possibilities and the environment to do that. I think that is key and that is important.
I was very blessed because I was very ill. I went up to a size 24, I had elephant feet, and I managed to get on health grounds a ground floor flat because I couldn't go up the stairs or carry weights.
Welcome to the Kennard House estate in South London, home to Mighty Della Calva and her 7-year-old daughter Rebecca. Mighty came to London, a city she loves, 17 years ago.
I was dancing. I came as a dancer, believe it or not. I used to be very good, seriously. You know.
After 2 failed relationships and a health scare, Mighty found herself struggling to make ends meet.
You do want to shout with the injustice of it all, because it hardly seems fair, does it?
Well, it does not, no. And you find yourself thinking, there's a lot of women like me, and I know there are men out there too. It's not just women that struggle when they're in poverty, you know, because you really try, and it's not that you don't want to.
Yeah.
Most of us, we don't want to be, you know, have to count your pennies. You don't want to be running or crying to your friend saying, do you have a pint of milk? Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to do that. And you don't want to be crying in camera either. You know, because it's embarrassing. It's you know, mainly when you know you've been working so hard and you really want to make something of yourself and of your children, but you can't. You feel, you know, somehow you feel you're always hitting yourself with the same stone kind of thing. I can't explain it. London has gone harder and harder in my personal experience. I've been working now for 10 years and I don't see myself better off. You know, as a single parent. Well, I think it's the way of how I work in a hospital for NHS. And I am very sorry, but I have to say that, again, in the NHS, the doctors are the ones who increase their salaries very high, and the nurses, and they get these strikes, but the ones that we are under that, all the admin people, all the workers, like all the cleaners, and all the people that they do all the bits and pieces in the hospital, they are not nurses or doctors, but without us, the hospital will not be working. Our salaries don't increase more than 50p a year, or £1 a year.
A whole pound. I wonder what you do with all that money.
At the end of every month, Mighty brings home £800 when she works part-time and £1,200 if she does so full-time. With money needed for rent, food, electricity, water bills, transportation, telephone and council tax, as well as meeting the basic needs of her 2 children, Mighty finds herself in debt at the end of every month.
But you can see that we all live, or most of us live in poverty, even though we are in the middle of Battersea, the middle of London,
which is
supposed to be a very rich area. Yeah. And you struggle.
Oh, have you come to make my hot chocolate?
You struggle to make.
Please.
You struggle even to make a cup of tea, because sometimes we don't have money for milk.
Do you remember that it was 3 hot chocolates and 2 coffees?
Yes, I do.
Right. Perfect.
With money worries and an ongoing court case with her former partner, Mighty admits it's been a difficult time for Rebecca, She's struggling to afford some of the after-school activities that would give her daughter a more well-rounded education.
Because funds are tight, what do you cut back on?
It's the same thing is that you end up having to stop going to extra school activities for them. You cannot take them sometimes to swimming pool because my child is under 8, for example. Even if it's free for her, I have to pay to take her, and that's £5.
Yeah.
So I cannot take her to swimming pool. There's so much things that you need money for. Anything that is educational costs money. Good books cost money. In order for Rebecca to have a good future and be able to not to struggle so much, as we were talking about earlier, she needs to have extracurricular activities. And those cost money. Not every school has them for free.
Yeah.
And you want your child to achieve, obviously. You won't like your child to go to, either if he's not sixth form, at least to go to college and good university and to achieve the best that she can achieve. And obviously, always to do better than yourself. Every parent would like to do that, whether they're rich or poor, I guess.
Yeah.
Britain's 12 million children make up 20% of the country's 60 million population. 3.9 million children live in relative poverty. In the 5th richest country in the world, 13.5 million households have to choose between the basics. Eddie Graham is from the Child Poverty Action Group.
Do we have any estimates as to how many families are affected? How many children are living in poverty?
Well, we know that at present there are 3.9 million children in the United Kingdom living in poverty, and at the Child Poverty Action Group we believe, of course, that that's entirely unacceptable. And so we are seeking to improve family income across Great Britain and to ensure that family poverty and the poverty of children is eradicated, in line with the pledge that was given by the previous government to eradicate child poverty within a generation.
One of Tony Blair's key pledges after Labour came to power in 1997 was eradicating child poverty by 2020. Blair said he wanted a Britain in which nobody's left behind and people go as far as their talents allows. In 1999, Labour committed to ending child poverty by redistributing the country's wealth. The government spent billions on providing support to low-income families. This included the Working Family Tax Credit, building Sure Start centres, and encouraging parents to return to work in an effort to lift families out of poverty.